to a special Pittsburgh beer excursion episode of
Brutal Battle. Yeah, it was a lot to say.
He's like, don't F this up.
No, I didn't say that. I just said, I said, are you going to remember that?
Yeah, but the look was like, don't F it up.
Well, I mean, there are times when you take the lead on those where it gets flubbed up a little bit. I
didn't flub at all. That was take one.
No, I know. That was good because most times it's a lot shorter and you do flub it up. So
I brought my A game already.
You know what it means? It means you might be too sober right now.
Too sober.
You might need some beer. But let's talk about the way we're going to do this is we're doing the beers, the 4 beers that we have for this in the order of when we got to those specific breweries. So just know that we brought a lot more beer back than what we're having on here. A lot more different types of beers. And we'll end up talking about the ones that we tried. But overall, I just want to say up front, Pittsburgh is an awesome place to go for beer and food, at least.
And that's all we really did. Everyone's like, oh, wow, you're going to Pittsburgh for the weekend. What are you going to do? I'm like, eat and drink.
Yeah. Because we were there on we got there on a Friday afternoon. And that for lunch, basically. And then we were there for the rest of that Friday, spent the night in an Airbnb. And then we're there all of Saturday night. And then we had breakfast on Sunday and left. And we did this with the Normans, Kelli and Kyle Norman. So we talked about the last Richmond trip that we went to that we talked about. It was with them last year. And then this year we decided, let's switch it up. We talked about going back to Richmond, but then we're like, let's do something different. Yeah. And we're like, we'll do Pittsburgh.
So now this is like an annual thing.
Yeah, so we have to figure out some other things. We're talking about maybe Frederick next year. So we've already done an episode on Frederick, but we can easily do a second one.
Wow, and there was a lot we didn't hit.
A lot. Yeah, definitely.
And more popping up, I'm sure.
Yeah. All the time, everywhere.
So.
I did want to say real quick, the Airbnb we stayed at was a really good one, and it was near the aviary in Pittsburgh. So the cool thing about it is that some of the bird cages were outside. So we walked by when we were going to a place we were going for breakfast on Saturday, which we'll talk about in a bit. And there were these giant birds in the cages, and we took a look from the outside, and there were condors, which if you've never seen a condor in real life...
Pretty cool.
They're crazy. And like one of them like spread its wings out at one point a little bit. And I was just like, that's insane.
It's a big bird.
So for me, that was cool. Like I'm into wildlife quite a bit. I watched National Geographic a lot when I was a little kid partially because my parents wouldn't let me watch really anything else. So that was like family TV time and it was always educational pretty much. But you learn to like those things. Yeah. And now I love animals.
And you love birds.
Yeah. So... we drove up on that Friday. Well, we started in the morning. Oh, and I forgot to mention that on the way, I almost forgot to mention, on our way up, we stopped at the Monroeville Mall.
Oh, right.
Because I'm huge into horror and horror films. And for people who don't know, the Monroeville Mall is where the movie Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead, was filmed by George A. Romero. So... I just wanted to stop in and pay my respects because I know there were like some photos there from it that they display. And there's also the most important thing, a bust of Romero's head that I wanted to see. So we did that.
So we literally were walking around the mall looking for this head.
Yeah, they don't they should put on the kiosk.
Yeah, we looked
where
at the kiosk. I tried to Google it, like where in the mall would it be, but no, we just finally Carlin was like, there it is.
Well, and it's like just about any mall now. It's dying. Like there weren't a whole lot of people there. There were a bunch of empty store spots.
Yeah, I think it was more lively than other malls.
Yeah.
Though.
Oh yeah. Like the mall near us.
Yeah.
Way more lively than that for sure. But I just hope it stays around for a long time because it's a very important
mall
shooting location for people who are into horror. So
we did that, and then we went to Cinderland, their warehouse location.
Yeah, that's where we met up with Kelli and Kyle for lunch. Is Cinderland's Brewing, and they have 2 locations. They have they call it like the Fooder House and the Warehouse. And we ended up going to the Warehouse because it looked like it had a larger variety of beers on tap, so that would hit everyone's tastes because Rebecca was feeling a particular type of beer, and Kelli feels a typical type of beer. And there were plenty of things that both Kyle and I liked on there, so we just didn't want to go to the Fooder House because it's very focused on more funky, sour type stuff. They had some other things, but more diverse with the warehouse. So let's pour the beer that we took away from Cinderlands. Well, didn't take it. We paid for it.
Yeah.
But the beer that we purchased and brought home from Cinderlands. So the beer we have is, starting this off interesting, a stout, although I think it's imperial. Yeah. It just says milk stout, but Arch and Drum, a coffee milk stout with maple and vanilla. It is 10.2% alcohol, so definitely imperial, and it's in a 16-ounce can. This is a good way to start our tasting.
And we had this when we were there, and
we did.
Super excited to find out they had it in cans because this was delicious.
Yeah, so we got a 4-pack, but we split the 4-pack with Kelli and Kyle because we rightfully assumed we were going to end up buying more beer to take home.
We didn't really split it, though. We just gave them one, right?
Oh, yeah, we did give them one. That's right. Sorry.
I said I would be willing to give up
one.
Right. Maybe 2 if you twisted my arm, because I love this beer, and Kyle doesn't really like coffee, but Kelli wanted one because she liked it.
I was confused on that because we did split a bunch of other 4-packs.
Almost everything else.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so it's dark.
Super dark. It's got
like
a
bubbly
real brown head.
Chocolate milk head.
Yeah, that head just sticks around.
Oh, man. It just smells so good.
Swirling it up, man. It's really got legs on the side for sure. This is still relatively cold, so some of the flavors might be slightly clammed up, but we'll see.
It has such a beautiful... smells so good. Because you get like the coffee, you get the maple. Is there vanilla in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is. There you go. You picked it right out.
I'm definitely getting the vanilla.
Yeah. All the extra things that are added, the coffee, the maple, the vanilla, it's all perceptible on the nose, which is nice, and it's mixed well in the smell. It smells
creamy.
It does smell creamy. It smells kind of decadent.
It smells like a fancy latte because of the milk and the coffee and the...
I could definitely agree with that. It smells very tasty, very beautiful. And for me, I'm not huge on maple, but it's at a level and it mixes with the vanilla and the coffee so well that I'm okay with it. It comes off of maybe a little bit butterscotchy in the nose to me, to be honest. But those smells are a little similar.
So it tastes just like I remember, and it tastes just like it smells, and I think it's just so well executed because all the flavors just are meshing so well. I think my biggest criticism is I wish the body was a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the first thing that hit me when I took my first sip is it's a much thinner body than you expect for a 10.3%. I mean, there's a little bit of a syrupiness there because of the higher ABV, but yeah, it's just not as viscous.
It's delicious though. I love it.
It is good, and I'm expecting that as it warms up, that coffee's going to become even more present in it, and I'm looking forward to that. But with the flavor the way it is now, it is pretty even with the coffee, the maple, and the vanilla. Actually, I think the maple's a little bit less than the vanilla and the coffee, but...
Oh, we have a cat on the move.
Yeah, if people hear movement, it might be time for the cat to leave. She
without
decides.
fail, she's always on the table when we start recording. And then, I would agree. I would say it's coffee and vanilla primarily, and then maple as like the third.
Okay, you're gonna end up making too much noise. I think it's time for you to go. Oh, she's going on her own. Boom. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye, Chloe-Leisha.
Bye, Chloe.
It's the coffee is. I think the coffee's a little more prevalent than the maple, and the vanilla is a little more prevalent than the maple, and that's good for me because I'm not huge on the maple. But
I wish you didn't like it, so I could drink it all myself.
Well, I mean, we have two more cans, so I would be willing to let you take more of it because I have a feeling the second beer is going to be something I will consume more of.
Yeah,
but you never know. We'll find out. But so we get to Cinderlands. We tried a bunch of their beer, and I'll talk about what we tried in a second here. But first of all, big shout out to our server, Justin.
His first day serving, because he normally works in the kitchen.
He's a great server. Very, very knowledgeable, very outgoing, and very willing to find out what you really want, talk, some items over. And he was funny. He was a really funny guy.
He was really funny. I think at one point he's like, if you don't like this, I think you told Kelly, if you don't like this salad, I'll throw it out in the street.
Yeah. He's like, I'll just walk out because there was a balcony there. He's like, I'll just walk out and throw it off the balcony. Yeah, he was pretty funny. He was an awesome guy. So shout out to Justin at Cinderland's warehouse location. And we did have some food there because, like I said, we went for lunch. We shared a pretzel with beer cheese that I got barely any of.
When you say share, I accidentally ate most of it.
I mean, you got more than 75%. I'm going to say you probably got 85% of that.
So I accidentally, I thought you had more than that. But it had a really good pimento cheese.
Yeah.
Dipping.
Well, I barely remember it because,
okay, well,
I didn't get much of any.
This is a sore subject. But we had that. You had, an eggplant, kind of roasted eggplant sandwich?
Yes. And it had, a kick to it. It had some spice to it, which was almost too much for me, but not quite. And it was kind of like a panini, but the bread was focaccia, which I love focaccia bread. And to substitute that in for a panini, really good. And then I also had a side kale salad that had some pine nuts and a really nice vinaigrette on it. Really good food.
Yeah. And I just had a chicken Caesar salad, which was really good. And then we shared bread pudding for dessert. Yeah.
So I'm going to go through and see what I can remember beer-wise that we had. I'm not going to read it off on tap because I actually just took screenshots of their beer menu that day. So we had Trax again, which was an unfiltered Pilsner. That was tasty. That was
really good.
Actually, I don't think we had any beers that we were like, that's not good.
Yeah, I think all the beer we had was really good. And I think, we'll talk about, but for me, this is one of the top ranking breweries and we visited
a bunch. What I have written down. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did 6 breweries. Okay, so the Trax again, that German Pilsner. We did the Triple Berry Tart Shake.
Which was good.
Which was a tart shake IPA brewed with boysenberries, blueberries, raspberries, milk sugar, and vanilla bean. We did the Old Entish, which was a milk stout with cacao nibs, Madagascar vanilla beans, and Intelligentsia El Diablo coffee.
That was my least favorite.
Yeah, no, actually.
You liked it more than I did.
Yeah, I liked that one quite a bit, but I think the problem was next to the Arch and Drum for you because of that vanilla and the maple.
Arch and Drum was just
We also had the Uncle Ebenezer English-style barley wine brewed with premium English malts and crystal hops. That was a nice barley wine. I quite enjoyed that one. So I think that's all we had. Oh, no, I think we also had we have the Raspberry Whipper. Yeah, I think we did. Berliner Weiss brewed with raspberry puree.
We had a mango one that I don't think was on that.
Oh, okay.
Had just been added to the menu.
Okay, well then I have to go to the Untapped.
Yeah. And then...
Because the problem is if I look it up just off Untapped, it doesn't say everything that's in it necessarily. So that's why I was
Yeah, there was some sort of mango or...
Oh, okay. There's something else too. Saison du Monde.
Right, there was a Saison.
It was a really nice Saison. Actually, that ended up being my favorite beer.
You liked that.
It was really light. It was really flavorful. It was a little bit funky-ish. They had an IPA called Soulshine. That was a nice kind of hazy IPA. That one was solid. And I'm looking through... Oh, the Pog Whipper. It wasn't the raspberry. It was passion fruit orange guava whipper, which was a Berliner Weiss with passion fruit orange guava. Yeah, that was quite good too. It was very vibrant.
Yeah, I didn't love that because it was too acidic.
Yeah, and then they had something called One More Sleep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. It was obscured on the bottom of this. One More Sleep. We had that. It was a cozy and decadent imperial gingerbread milk stout. Brewed with ginger, cinnamon, vanilla, molasses, and milk sugar. I think you really liked that one. I think that was actually maybe your favorite, but they didn't have it available.
It was not my favorite.
But they didn't have it available. So.
Arch and Drum was my favorite.
Okay.
Don't tell me what my favorite is.
Don't tell me. Don't you?
You're like, this was your favorite. I'm going to tell you. I did quite like it.
Yeah.
I thought it was well done. slightly out of the gingerbread. I think I would have liked it more if it was like more like the seasonal type because went there mid-March.
Yeah.
But it was good. it was a great way to start off our trip.
Yeah, it was. So I give a big thumbs up on Cinderlands. I would definitely tell people to go there. The warehouse location at least, because we can't vouch for the Fooder house. But
I would have liked to go to the Fooder house, knowing how good.
Yeah.
I'd put that on our list for next time.
Sure. Yeah. I definitely want to go back. We had such a good time in Pittsburgh. I definitely think it was better than our Richmond trip. Definitely.
It's also hard because when we went to Richmond with them, we had already been there once before.
Yeah,
so
but I don't know. I just think overall,
it was the Condors.
Yeah, Condors like the cherry on top.
Well, our Airbnb was really nice.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. It was.
So okay,
we had a good Airbnb in Richmond though too.
We did, but the one in Pittsburgh was nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. So okay, so we then regrouped a little bit, and then we went out to Brew Gentleman, which is the big one that people talk about. I guess it's not technically Pittsburgh; it's Braddock, but it's basically Pittsburgh, and that's a place that Kelli and Kyle had been to before. They had never been to Cinderlands; they had been to Brew Gentleman, and I gotta be honest, like, not impressed with the Brew Gentleman location. Like, it's kind of a shithole in a sense. Like, it's hipstery, but not hipstery. You know what I mean? Like it's
no frills. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I mean, literally this where we were sitting, we had to sit in folding chairs.
Well, and it's hard to know like the little area if that was like an addition or extra space they had on, because there was also like a little bar in the back. So
it's weird
because you had to walk through like a little like entryway to kind of get to where we were seated, which leads me to believe maybe they just had that was not part of the original space.
And it's very dark in there.
It's really dark.
Very dark. Not well lit at all.
And kind of cold.
It seems very grungy, very run down type look to it. It's not a nice place. Let's be honest. It's okay. Like I said, it's kind of a shithole. But their beers are really good.
That's what matters.
So I would just say maybe just go pop in, get some growlers filled and take off maybe, because the ambiance sucks. It's not a nice building. So let's talk about what beers we had there, because they do a good job. And, actually, do we want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about what beers we had when, I almost forgot. We have a beer from Brew Gentleman.
And we didn't have, so we have 4 beers for this episode, and 2 we've had and 2 we have not had. So this is one we've not had. Yes,
this is one we have not had. And I will say up front, we've had a beer by Brew Gentleman on the podcast before. I think it was a beer mail episode or a cellar dive. So you can just go onto the website and search through our search function, just Brew Gentleman, and it'll pop up with that episode. You can do that for anything because I put the tags in. So if you're looking for a particular beer or something from a particular brewery, you can find the episodes that contain that on the website. So anyway, we almost got nothing from Brew Gentleman to take away, that is, because they don't can, they don't bottle, except for like these special large format bottles. So this is a 750 milliliter. I just happened to see it as I was checking out, as I was closing our tab. I was like, because it was hard to see because it's so damn dark there. And I was like...
You're like, wait, is that a beer?
Yeah, I was like, wait, can I buy that? I can't even tell what it is. I couldn't. So it's a ale aged in oak fooders. They say it's a table beer it's from the Mies and Rose collection, and they're just calling it table beer. It is 4.8%. So it should be nice and easy. And
so it's just that's it. There's no fruit or anything added.
Well, it's mixed culture fermentation. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a mixed culture fermentation. And then they blend to kind of get the desired flavor out of it. So
I'm not anticipating liking this because this is normally not my jam.
Oh, always so...
I'm always so positive.
Yeah, so positive. It looks very light.
It does.
Very light. I won't give you too much since you are who you are. Not a big fan of the sours and the funkies and all that. Oh, yeah.
Yellow, has a little haze, has big bubbles.
Yeah. There's a slight orange tinge to it, but yeah, pretty yellow. Yeah, the bubbles are very large and just kind of mainly sticking to the outsides. But
man, it smells so lemony, tarty.
Oh no, I still smell a little of that maple in mine.
You didn't rinse very well.
Well, no, now that I'm swirling the beer more, it's coating it, so I'm not getting that as much. It smells very lemony. There's like a quick tart hit in your nose, very lemony, but it also smells kind of clean and like it could give you like a refreshing cleanse at the end of each sip. I don't know. Yeah, it smells nice and refreshing in my opinion. Let's go in.
Okay.
Oh,
it is kind of
very light.
It is very light. Definitely tart. Definitely lemony. It's not like my style of refreshing, but I can see why someone else may find this refreshing. Yeah,
the tartness is relatively low, and it is making it that kind of lemony flavor. There's a little bit of a floral note that's dancing on top.
Honeysuckle-y.
Perfect. Yes, that's a perfect call out. Yeah, honeysuckle. Totally. And there's a slight apple.
Did you do that as a kid? Eat the little things from the honeysuckle flowers?
No. I didn't eat flowers and stuff.
I don't think we probably should have done that. We did. Walking over from the bus stop, there would be these honeysuckles along the side of the road, and we would just pull the thing from the middle of the flower and then lick it.
Well, and you were telling me also you used to eat that yellow snow.
I did.
So, that's gross.
No, I did not do that.
Yeah, this is really, it is kind of light. It is kind of refreshing. It's got a nice, like, crisp snap to it from the tartness, and then that nice kind of floral note that's playing around in there. I like this beer. It's nice. It's nice.
You liked Brew Gentleman more than I did. I just was kind of like, eh.
I will say, though, overall, I wished that their tap list was different because they have a lot of IPAs.
Yeah.
And, I'm not really faulting them for that because I get it. Like, that's what sells. And if you're good at making IPAs and you become known for that, like, that's just what happens. Like, you're there to make money. But I just say, personally, I appreciate it when there's a lot more range being shown. But they did show brewing acumen because they did have a few different things on that on their tap list that they did very well. Very well.
And also, it's hard when you go to a brewery and they have a lot of the same style because you're like, which one do I pick?
I know. Well, and that's what I ended up doing because we would drink, we got a few like smaller pours because that's another thing. I thought it was 6 ounces was like their lowest size pour.
Yeah, it was either a full pour or half pour.
Yeah, so we got a few half pours and then I went back and got a few more and it was mainly IPAs left that I wanted to try because I tried mine and then like Kelli and Kyle, we all shared a little bit. But I went back and it was like 4 IPAs left. And I was like, I'm only going to get 2. And I asked the bartender, Pam. So shout out to Pam. She was very nice and helpful. And I was like, okay, these 4 IPAs, which 2 would you recommend? So she was like, well, if you want this, go with this, and this, go with this.
Well,
so
that's good. At least you could kind of talk about.
Right. So we had their Mammoth, which is a winter double IPA. That one was good. But here's the thing. They're hazy IPAs.
I don't remember like thinking, man, I really want more of this beer from any of their beers I had.
I will say this from the hazy IPA standpoint. I think they're good hazy IPAs. Like, I know I talk a lot about there's a lot of crappy hazy IPAs out there. These are well done, taste pretty solid. That's real big of you. Yeah, so the Mammoth wasn't my favorite. I wouldn't get it again, but it was decent. The Final Colossus, which was a double IPA, that one was pretty solid. I like that. It was, a little bit more viscous, I think, than the Mammoth was. Just better flavor. My favorite of their hazy IPAs, Foshomo. Was a Mosaic double IPA, and that one was quite good. That's the one that I was just like, this could get me to drink a hazy because it tasted really good. The Mosaic was showcased pretty well. Then we had their Blood Light Lime.
Ugh, I didn't like that one.
Which was a citrus IPA. It was a blood orange IPA. It was decent. I thought it was okay. I wasn't huge on it. The citrusy flavor with how light the body was
weird. Yeah.
Then I tried their Dark Star, which was a black IPA, and that was good. Not enough people doing black IPAs these days. And I enjoyed that. We tried their Certified, which was a Citra Pale Ale. That was solid. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. We tried the White Sky. I think that was your favorite. It was the chai wheat beer.
Are you going to tell me what my favorite is again?
Wasn't it? It was.
I guess it was my favorite in the fact that it was the most memorable for me.
Yeah.
Just because I love chai. But it was okay.
I thought for what it was supposed to be, it was good.
Yeah.
I don't like spicing like that, so I tasted like one sip and I'm like, it's well done for what it was supposed to be, but I don't want to drink that because it's pretty strong with the spice. Then we had their BG Brew Gentleman Dunkel. It was a Munich Dunkel, and that was very impressively good for a Dunkel. It was very smooth. It had a nice sweetness to it. Just very well-rounded and tasty. And we also tried their Dark Lager, which was a Czech-style dark lager. That was also very impressive. It had a nice crisp finish, like a lager. It was very easy, but it had like a little bit of a roastiness coming through as well. It was almost a little coffee, and it was really good. And then my favorite of the beers, which I feel like I talked about a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Their Electric Sheep, which was a Kolsch-style ale. That is an amazing Kolsch. Amazing Kolsch.
I don't know. Maybe I just was like in a weird mood.
Maybe, because they had some really good beers. I think it's also because of all the breweries we ended up going to, Brew Gentleman was the most hyped. Like, nationally and to us, a lot of people hyped Brew Gentleman. So we're like, oh, we gotta go. So you have this, like, very high
maybe that's what it was.
opinion of what it should be. So, I think that was the problem with it. But I really liked it. I mean, the fact that they made an amazing Kolsch is just hits me right in the heart. I love that. Thank you, Brew Gentleman, for doing that.
After that, we had a really nice dinner at Superior Motors.
Yeah. And it's called Superior Motors because it used to be, a Mercedes dealership?
Yeah, I thought it was Oldsmobile, but then someone said Mercedes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was nice.
Yeah, like kind of, more expensive, fine dining type food, which we like to do. And it was cool because it was across the street from a steel plant, because Pittsburgh. And it was at night, and there's just like huge flames coming out of the smokestack consistently at the steel plant, which I've never seen that before. And it's just cool to watch. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But the food was really good. I had like a rabbit terrine to start the meal off, which was really nice. And then I had for my main course it was like a lamb dish that was pasta. So it was kind of like, had like a very light type marinara-ish sauce to it, and had pine nuts in it, and it was really good. Sorry, Kat's yelling because she wants stuff. Mainly attention. Chloe, you're fine.
I had some roasted like root vegetables, and then for they said they were small plates, but they weren't all that small. And then my main course I got was salmon, and it was so good. Yeah,
that salmon was
I couldn't finish
very
it,
good.
though. I had to recruit some help.
Well, and also with my dish, you typically aren't big on lamb.
Yeah,
but you really liked it. I did. And I did have a beer while we were there. I had from Hitchhiker Brewing. It was a hazy IPA called Outside the Inside, and that was a pretty solid hazy IPA. So,
and then after that,
and then I also had 11th Hour Brewing's Kolsch. I tried that, and after coming off the Brew Gentleman Kolsch, not as good. So, but it wasn't a terrible Kolsch or anything.
And then what happened? The next morning we got up and we went to Federal Galley.
Yep, and when we went to the Federal Galley, that's when we first went by the aviary,
right?
Because we were on our way that way.
And Federal Galley is kind of like an upscale food court where there's like 4 different restaurants, and you can order from there and then just kind of sit there and eat. It was fun.
Yeah. It was 4 separate restaurants, and we ordered from
3 out of the 4 of them.
Yeah, I remember the names of 2 of them. One was called Shaka, and we got like this avocado toast that had like a fried egg and like honey on it and truffle oil, and it was very, very tasty. We got Nutella stuffed French toast from Which Came First, which was like a pun on chicken or the egg. That was really tasty, and it wasn't too sweet either. Yeah. Like, that's what I appreciate about things like that. when they're done well. And then the other place, I can't remember, the third place we got something from, I can't remember, but it was like a Mexican joint. And we had
breakfast quesadilla.
Yeah, which the quesadillas were decent, but the home fries were the best home fries I've ever tasted. They were like perfectly seasoned, and they were nice and crisp and beautiful. They tasted great. So then after we had full tummies,
we started our day then at Dancing Gnome.
Yes, we did.
Which was like so crowded you barely could even move, which was kind of annoying. I feel like we would have spent maybe more time there because we just had 4 beers. We had was it a Dunkel we had there?
No, it was an alt beer.
Okay.
The alt beer was good. It's just called alt beer. I ordered that one. I think I enjoyed that one. Oh no, the second most of what we were having. Quite like that one. You had the yellow slippers, which was a stout with banana, cinnamon, and vanilla. And how'd you feel about that?
It was okay.
I won't tell you it was your favorite.
Yeah, don't tell me it was my favorite. It was not my favorite. Honestly, I was I was hoping I would like Dancing Gnome more than I did. It partly could have been because it was so crowded. Maybe it was just the ones we picked. Because we only went up for like one round and they did like half pours.
Yeah.
It was okay. I didn't really like the banana in it.
Yeah, the banana was a little artificially.
I thought I'd try it because it was something different.
Yeah. And then they had, we had 2 of their hazy IPAs because that's what they're known for. And if people are more interested in Dancing Gnome, we did a showcase episode on them, so you can search that on the website. But we had their Crumbling Foundation Pale Ale, which was a hazy pale ale with Nelson, Galaxy, Citra, and Simcoe. And it was solid. It was good. Mm-hmm. It's another example of a good hazy. But I really enjoyed their hazy double IPA Infinite Highway, which was Galaxy, Citra, and Mosaic.
Yeah, I would say that was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that one was quite tasty. Quite tasty.
So from there, we didn't stay there too long because it was crowded.
Well, and we were trying to keep with it, and we successfully did it, where we were watching the Penguins Capitals hockey game, and we tried to do one period at each brewery, but the problem is the second brewery we
didn't
went
have
to
a TV.
Well, they did, but it was on an old movie.
It was on an old movie channel.
So we're like, ugh. So we saw the first period at Dancing Gnome, and we left, and we were very, very sad. Well, Rebecca specifically, because there was a T-shirt she really wanted that she saw someone wearing, but they weren't selling.
It was a cat in a box, a Dancing Gnome-like box. It's really funny.
Sorry for the music in the background, by the way, because neighbors playing piano, of course. So
we left Dancing Gnome and we walked down to Hitchhiker.
Yeah, and gotta say, this was my favorite brewery.
It was
of the
really
trip.
good because they had a really great variety, and everything we had was really, really good.
Yeah, people not talking about Hitchhiker Brewing, and you've been to Pittsburgh, shame on you, because this was our favorite. So we're gonna taste one of the beers that we had. This is one we have already had.
Yeah.
So by Hitchhiker, it is Elastic Paradise. It's an IPA with coconut, pineapple, and cold brew coffee, and it's 6% alcohol, also in a 16-ounce can. Sounds weird, right?
They had when we'll be doing a showcase episode for them.
Oh yes, thank you.
So we won't go into too much, maybe.
Yeah, we won't get. Well, I mean, it's fine because we're mainly going to be talking about like the background of Hitchhiker. But actually, yeah, okay. That's a good idea. Let's just be more vague about it, but.
Okay,
just mainly
this
talk about
looks like a hazy IPA.
Yes. Oh, yes. It definitely looks like a hazy IPA, but very yellow. Sometimes you get the orange ones. This one's very yellow. It's got a very present head that's nice and soft looking. What does it smell like?
It smells like Vaseline.
Yeah, it actually kind of does. Maybe because it's colder than usual. I see what you're saying, though. It smells kind of weird.
I mean, I'm getting some citrus notes. I'm not getting any coffee.
Oh, I'm getting a little bit of coffee, but I think what's happening is that the pineapple and the coconut and the cold brew is like, it's coming together and just making this super odd noise. Like, it doesn't mesh well on the nose at all. It actually, there's a specific smell that it's giving me. I'm trying to figure it out. There's a little, like, a burnt toast. on the nose, which is probably partially from the cold brew.
This is not how I remember it.
Let me give it a shot.
I remember liking it more than I do now.
Oh. Yeah, what's going on?
It's off.
It's, I definitely get
Vaseline-y.
I definitely get the coconut.
I'm getting a little coffee.
Yeah, I get the coffee on the back. I get the coconut up front. It's very strong coconut on the initial sip. And then it gets Vaseline-y and slightly citrusy. I guess that's the pineapple, but it's not discernible as such. And then it transitions to that coffee, which the coffee is a little not that great tasting, to be honest.
Okay. I don't really like this beer. But we liked it enough to buy a 4-pack of it.
Well, that one we split.
Okay. So we just have this one and one more.
Yeah. We split that one, but...
It's weird.
It's tasting very understated right now. Like, it's very watery on the finish. Yeah. And there's not a whole... Like, I'm not getting the pineapple, really.
No. And when we had it, I feel like...
Yeah.
I remember liking it a lot more. So anyway, when we got there, there were like all these cans and the cans were like flying off. Carl's like, we need to order cans now. I'm like, but we don't know what we want. So we kind of just ordered, we got some cans. We got 2 flights.
It's got a little bit of a burnt toast taste on it too. It's weird. Yeah, there's something about how this got canned that's not holding up.
Yeah, we'll see how it is when it warms up, but...
We kept it cold for the most part. So, yeah, I don't know. That's weird. So, okay, so let me tell you about the other stuff we had.
2 flights. So we had, 8 beers? No, they were there just 3?
There were 3 per flight.
Okay, so we had 6 beers there.
So we had, we tried the whole punch, and that was a cherry cheesecake.
Oh, yeah, Kyle got that. We tried it.
Yeah, cherry cheesecake lactose IPA.
It was weird.
So it tastes like what it states, but that's not something you probably want to drink a lot of, to be honest.
I mean, I had 2 sips and I was like, okay, that's all I need.
Yeah, it's more kitsch than anything. We also tried the single cell, which was an unfiltered Pilsner. That was tasty. I quite liked that one. Mm-hmm. I like a nice Pilsner. And that was good. It had a little bit more bitterness to it than I'm used to with Pilsners, but I liked that about it. It was tasty. Then we had their Subsurface All Berry, which is a smoothie sour with a blend of berries.
And that was delicious. And they had that in cans, but it was sold out.
Amazing. Yeah, then we had this one, the Elastic Paradise. Then we had their Triple Shakes, which is an Imperial Coffee Stout, which the coffee in that was beautiful.
That was a good beer.
That was a really, really, really good beer.
And our favorite beer.
Well, no, hold on, because we tried the Barbarian, which was an IPA with Mosaic and Amarillo.
Okay.
And that was quite tasty. And then our favorite beer.
And you can say it's my favorite.
Okay, Rebecca's favorite and my favorite. In collaboration with Levante Brewing, which we also did a showcase on that you can check out. Ripple Biscuit. It's a cream ale with wafers, Meyer lemon, coffee, and cinnamon and lactose.
So good. I'm so glad. Like, hearing that beer, it's like you want to love it because it sounds like it's going to be so good. And I'm so glad we loved it.
And we bought a 4-pack of that for us and a 4-pack of that for Kelli and Kyle. And I'm glad that was the case. We drank one last night.
It was so good.
That one, there's no problem with that one in the can.
Yeah.
It is amazing as it was. Super phenomenal. But the thing is, all the things going into it, it sounds so weird.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It works. So good.
I don't get a ton of cinnamon in it, though.
True.
I can get and I don't know what the biscuits do. Or the wafers, rather. But you definitely get the lemon and you definitely get the coffee, and somehow it just works. It's delicious. Yeah.
So, then we got a Lyft or an Uber.
I think
Kyle got it, so I don't know if it was a Lyft or an Uber. I think it was an Uber, actually. And we went to one that apparently is kind of like the big talk of Pittsburgh at the moment. It's called Grist House. And, so we went to Grist House and checked that out. And what was it like when we got there?
Well, first of all, we rode there in a minivan. So we roll up in this minivan and we have all this beer with us. And the minivan driver's like, bye. And we're like, what the hell is this? Because he just drops us off and it's just this trailer of beer that you can outside, and it's just masses of people at tables, and there's like a fire pit, and we're like, is this it? Like, for real? Like, there's no building?
But like the first thing you see are all the porta potties lined
yes,
up.
and you see porta potties, and then you see these big signs that say no outside beer, and we're like, shit.
Like, I don't care though.
And we're like, that probably just means no, like,
drinking outside beer. Yeah.
And we're like, we're going in.
Yeah.
So we go in. I'm like, there has to be like an indoor. So you walk past these masses of people. And like the other weird thing was there was like a big ditch where people were like down in like this ditch and picnic tables drinking.
Well, it was where a building used to be.
Yeah.
And it had been demoed, you could tell. And so there was still the footprint of the building.
This was like down where the basement was. Like, so there was like
weird.
a stone ramp. It was weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. And there were a lot of dogs.
A lot of dogs
there.
So you walk past the masses of people and dogs, and then we find the indoor. Because I'm like, I have to pee, and I am not going in a porta potty. Like,
I did.
I'm like, I am not that drunk. I'm not that drunk yet to go in a porta potty. So we go in and we find the indoor tap room, and we found a table. We lucked out.
You also found the sign that says you bark and you're out.
Yes, which I was happy about because I was like, that's our like 3 bark rule with dogs at breweries.
Inside the building, that
yeah.
is. Yeah.
So all female bartenders.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
On the inside, I don't know what that.
I don't see gender, so.
Oh.
No, I just didn't make that connection.
So we didn't have a ton there because I think we were kind of slowing down and trying to pace ourselves.
We just shared a lot.
Yeah.
We got an okay amount of beers. We just kind of passed them around a bunch. But there's one beer in particular I kind of latched onto and drank the majority of.
I was kind of like, I need to slow down. Well, then, because you and Kyle went up to get beers, and they said they didn't do sample sizes.
Yeah, this is something I will complain about.
And
this
then
is
Kelly
bullshit.
and I go up.
This is bullshit.
And we're like, what's the small pour size? They're like, we can do 5 ounces of any beer. We're like, oh.
And they never said that to us. They said, what did they say? 16 or 8 ounces to us. And we're like, okay, 8 ounces of these. And then they come back with these 5-ounce pours. And we're like, how did you get that? And she's like, oh, this is available.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, because the bartender told me only 16 or 18 ounce pours. So that's some bullshit.
She was new and didn't know.
I don't know.
Or maybe ours goofed up.
I don't know. But anyway, so, well, before I tell you what beers we had, I do want to clarify. We said that, like, when you get there, it's like a weird setup. And it looks weird and everything. We described that. But it's actually a cool setup.
Right. It was actually really cool.
Yeah. When you became acclimated to it, after the initial shock of what the heck is this? Because there's plenty of space outside because it was kind of smaller on the inside, a lot smaller. And they had like a trailer set up that had a bunch of taps in there so you could get beer outside.
Yeah.
And then they had another trailer that had all their cans that you could purchase. So they just had a table, a folding table you could go up to and say, I want these cans, order them. They give them to you, quick transaction. So they had a good system working. And then they also had like a smoker out there and they were like making smoked meats. I don't know. We didn't eat there. So
was it? I thought it was just an outside fire pit.
No. They had a smoker out there though too.
You spent more time outside.
Yeah. So we tried their batteries included, which was a coffee stout, and it was good.
It's good.
It was definitely good. We did not try, but we have to try at some point. Maybe we'll put it on an episode. Battle Snake, which is a New England style IPA. I don't think we tried any of their IPAs when we were there, to be honest. But they had a lot of them available in cans. We ended up with that. I'll talk about that later. We had the Big Sippa, which was a sour beer with berries and then vanilla and cocoa nibs in it. And that was really good.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, the Big Sippa was awesome. You were also feeling no pain at this point, I think. So, if you know what I mean, and I think you do.
Yeah, I like... I remember going to the bathroom when we first got there, and I remember, but I can't tell you which ones I liked and didn't like.
Did you remember the Gristly Bear Brown?
Yes.
Okay, so it was a brown ale.
I remember that one, and I remember Utterly something. Because that was like
Utterly
a strawberry...
dipped.
It was like a strawberry...
chocolate
stout.
Yeah. And then we also tried their Pink Lecker beer, which was a farmhouse ale that had some berry in it.
That was okay.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty damn good. And then my favorite, their Kolsch on the Run, which was a Kolsch, which doesn't reach the level of Brew Gentleman's Kolsch, but not far behind, in my opinion. That was an amazing Kolsch.
I think I only had one sip, and then Carlin was like, mine.
Yeah, I went hard at that. Like, I remember I was sipping a bunch of the other stuff and just, like, trying it, but then I was just like, I'm digging this Kolsch so much, and I asked everyone, I was just like, do you guys mind? Does anyone really want more of this Kolsch? Because I'm really digging it. And everyone's like, no, it's okay if you want to drink it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm finishing this.
Yeah.
So I mainly just drank that, but because I loved it, but, you know. And then from Grist House, when we went to purchase beers at Grist House, I ended up talking to two of the guys who worked there, Will and Adam, who were super cool, super nice guys. And the podcast ended up coming up, and they gave me a free 4-pack of the Battlesnakes. So we were not buying Battlesnakes. We were buying the Ruby Shaman, which I didn't talk about because that wasn't on that list. I guess it was something they had added. But the Ruby Shaman was it was a sour with berries added to it. Really tasty. And then we bought this beer, which
we're going to crack open now,
called Outrun Cowboy, which we did not try this while we were there. It is a Keller Pils, and it's 5% alcohol. Also, 16-ounce can. I almost forgot about this beer, to be honest. I was so into, like, talking about Grist House that I forgot that we had this beer in front of us.
I was like, I think because you were right. And then we went to, I'm like, wait a minute, we have to drink the Grist House beer.
Yeah. Because, well, this is the last beer. We don't have another one, so. Okay, so it looks like a Pils. It's very yellow.
It's a little hazy.
Yeah, slightly. It's got a very big head on it. Very, very soft looking. What does it smell like?
It smells really light.
Ooh, yeah. There's like a straw note in there. Very straw. There's
our neighbors are making a lot of noise. We have some outside.
I'm hating our neighbors this evening when we're recording. So big apologies to people for numerous things. Hearing a douchebag with a really loud motor outside, potentially. Hearing a douchebag next door playing piano loudly, just banging the shit out of the keys. Hearing our cat walk around on the table earlier. And yelling because she wants things. So, sorry.
So
but anyway, what do you smell in it? I smell honey.
Like straw hay.
Lots of straw.
I don't really know the difference between straw or hay.
Yeah. Kyle Norman, chime in on this one. You're the ag teacher. Come on, man. Just crack an egg.
Crack an egg?
That's a Letterkenny reference.
Oh, jeez.
But this smells really refreshing. Very clean, very light.
I'm not getting
like
a whole lot.
Yeah, me neither. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Super easy.
I'm getting a little Naked Cheerio.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely showing up in the end.
I love it.
Taste the honey. Taste that kind of straw note.
A little, I think I'm getting straw or honey, but I also think I'm getting a little alfalfa.
Okay. There you go. I get a very, very, very faint lemon peel.
Yeah, I can see that.
Do you get that as well?
I could see that.
It's really light. It's really kind of refreshing. It's crisp.
I like this.
But it's also a little bit drying on the finish as well, and has more bitterness than you would assume. But I'm digging that.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. This is a super easy beer, but tasty.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's nice.
So after Grist House, we walked to Strange Roots.
Strange Roots, yeah. And I got to be honest, it was not good.
It was okay. Yeah.
I would just say I didn't like it.
I mean, I also think it's hard because at this point, we were getting kind of beered out.
Not me. I actually was not beered out at that point.
Oh, I was.
I just was not digging the Strange Roots stuff.
So we tried 2.
Well, we tried some of their stuff too.
Yeah, but we got our own.
We had a Belgian blonde called Cake Beer, which was fermented with cake.
Yeah.
And it was gross. It was like, it wasn't gross, but it's just like, you could taste a little bit what the cake did to it, but you're just kind of like, why? Yeah.
Jinx.
No good. Their foraged black walnut. Actually, this one was decent.
This one's the best one.
This was the best one, and I actually did kind of like it, so I take some of that stuff back. It was just a wild ale. I think it was a saison with black walnuts, but it had like a sourness to it. But it wasn't like super sour. It was very light. It was actually decent. They had Minotaur, which was a Belgian strong dark ale. Yeah. Then we had their, we tried a seltzer there. This is the first hard seltzer I've ever had. It was a blackberry and raspberry seltzer.
And it's weird.
I mean, it tastes like what I assumed hard seltzers would taste like, which is carbonated water with some fruit flavor.
Yeah, but it tasted really artificial.
It was not good. But I'm chalking that one up to, I probably just don't like hard seltzer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And then I had a cocktail, which was something maple pancake.
Bacon pancakes?
I don't even remember exactly what was in it.
No, yeah, it was a mixed drink.
That was my demise.
Mm-hmm. Because then Rebecca fell asleep on the couch not long after that. She wanted a movie on. We put on Secret Life of Pets 2 at the Airbnb, and like 5 minutes in, she's done.
Yeah.
She's out.
I was out. And then I slept. It was a weird night for Rebecca.
So, yeah. So, and then in the morning, we got up and we hit up a bakery.
Yeah, Oakmont.
Oh, yeah, Oakmont Bakery. That wasn't technically Pittsburgh.
It was in Oakmont.
Oakmont. Okay.
And it's the biggest bakery you've ever seen.
Wow, we've ever seen. And this is one of the biggest things. Like, we were deliberating where do we go for breakfast/brunch. And when the option of that bakery was thrown out by Kelli and Kyle, I jumped on it. I was like, yes, because in Maryland, we don't have good bakeries.
Yeah.
We don't. Like, first of all, we don't have that many bakeries. You might be able to find a bakery somewhere, and if you do, it's probably not good. So when we go places and we can find, like, a decent to good bakery, all about it, because it's a treat. And this is a good bakery. We had some of their homemade bagels, like, made into a sandwich, because they had a kiosk where you could kind of, like, construct your own sandwiches and stuff.
And they had, like, any kind of bagel you wanted, any kind of cheese you wanted, toppings. It was fun and it was delicious. Which
I'm an everything bagel kind of guy. That's my comfort zone. That's my flavor pleasing zone.
Okay,
I love that.
So that was her trip, basically.
Yeah. Well, and we got donuts.
Oh, we
took donuts home from Oakmont Bakery, and we had a sour cream glazed donut, and I think that was my favorite of the donuts, followed by the cruller that we got. Because I like crullers because they're very light. They're not, because usually like donuts are very dense, they're very heavy, and they're sweet and kind of greasy. And crullers are much more kind of dialed back.
Okay, you ready to rank these?
So yeah, but awesome trip, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This is going to be really hard. I know what my last place is very easily. But the rest of them are gonna be tough.
I know. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, please.
Okay. And my number 4, you like to go this way.
I do.
I'll do it, even though I normally go the other way. Number 4 is the Elastic Paradise.
Yeah, that was by Hitchhiker Brewing, and it was their IPA with coconut, pineapple, and cold brew coffee. But that is not a good representation of their stuff.
It was much better on tap.
For more information, wait for in the following weeks when we have their showcase episode.
My number 3 is the Brew Gentleman Table Beer.
Yep, the Meeson Rose Collection Table Beer, which is an ale aged in oak foeders.
Then my number 2 is the Grist House.
Okay, the Outrun Cowboy Keller Pills.
And then my number 1 is Arch and Drum.
By Cinderlands Beer Company is the Coffee Milk Stout with maple and vanilla.
Don't be drinking more of that.
I'm going to sip it off the... Okay. Because I need to figure out my ranking. As most people can probably figure out, the Elastic Paradise is my last place beer. That's my number 4. Not really a fan of that one. Was a fan of it when we had it at the brewery. There's something about their canning of it did not go well. So that's my number 4. My number 3 is going to be the Cinderlands Arch and Drum. Sorry, that's my number 3. My number 2 is going to be the Brew Gentleman's Table Beer. And my number 1 is going to be the Grist House Outrun Cowboy. That is a nice Pils. That's a nice Pils.
It's good.
But I will say this. I was very close with my number 1 and 2 between the table beer and the Pils. Very, very, very close. So it really could have gone either way.
Okay.
Kind of tied for me, in a sense.
Very good.
So,
So, and thank you for anybody who's listening who gave us recommendations.
Yes.
Hopefully I think we probably went to at least a couple of the recommendations. It was just so hard.
I remember having Hitchhiker and Grist House recommended to us, definitely. And Grist House was actually recommended quite a few times.
Yeah. So we looked at like how many people recommended. Did we hear the recommendation a couple times? And then what did Kelli and Kyle, where had they been? Where do they want to try? And then at the end of the day, we did what we could, but there's just not enough time.
Well, and what we did of just kind of like going around just reinforces how amazing things like Uber and Lyft are this day and age, because
otherwise you're just SOL.
Yeah, you can hop breweries all day long and not drive and put yourself or anyone else in danger, and that's amazing. So everyone should do that if you're going to go around and drink.
Don't drink and drive.
Do not. It's
okay.
dumb.
Well, this is fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I look forward to finishing these beers off. But thank you everyone for checking this out, and until next time,
keep it brutal.